This is just something I cooked up real quick.
Are you ready for this?
I already sent this to Gabel. The primary thing you should notice first is that Hellions take a little bit to start accelerating, and then a tiny bit to decelerate. But if you keep microing your units and pay attention to them, then they will maintain speed. Alright, so now let's get an example. I'll go ahead and grab 2 for now. So this will let you increase your Hellion's effectiveness by actively paying attention to them. And then if you move your Hellions, that arc needs to be increased, then you can get a lot more out of them if you weren't paying attention. So very simple, move towards them, but it is a dance. Your opponent can react to it. So, very fun. Similar to Patrol Micro from Brood War, except a little bit harder because you have to get a more perfect angle. You can't just be at like a 90-degree angle. But the important part is that you keep moving, so it is constantly paying attention to your units. So kind of like carriers and mutalisks in that regard. Because if you don't pay attention to them, or you just, they're gonna have to start accelerating again, and that gives an opponent a chance to do some damage. So, allows a little bit more interaction, a little bit more Twitch micro. I'm a big fan of. And at the same time, I mean, you've still got the Hellion mode. And it alleviates the concern that I think Xevious had about how like you either get the perfect angle of the money shots, it's like all or nothing, which I'm not entirely convinced that's bad or not. But it's certainly you can't just like get tons and tons of kills really fast and just end the game quickly. But on the other hand, Vultures cleared out a mineral line really fast, but you had to be a lot more active instead of grabbing all your Vultures and, moving in, hitting S, moving in, hitting S, and then moving in and, just like stutter stepping with the Hellions and just letting them eviscerate everything. So a little bit more interactive of a process. But on the other hand, you've got Vultures. It's pretty much making it more akin to a Vulture, so why even have it a Hellion if it doesn't have its signature splash attack, except to have the Hellbat mode. And the micro that is added via that is a little bit more, intensive and skill-based because you have to be more accurate with your clicks. But I mean, it's really, that sort of micro is more akin to a Vulture in the first place, and it would just allow you to have a Hellbat, and then you would have to figure out, well, why do we want a Hellbat? What does that add to the game? I mean, it makes these guys, better in a support role, so they're useful not just for harassment. But then on the other hand, Vultures were good at like area control and stuff, so these guys, and buffering, but these guys are just going to be way better buffering, but won't have the utility of spider mines. So, I don't know, just some things to discuss. So the surround micro would still be there with the Lings from like, StarCraft 2, just because speed and all that. But hopefully you could make it a little bit more interaction. Might make them terrible or something, I don't know. But that's just some interesting micro, and of course you'd have to add an exception to the pathing, the Brood War pathing, because it punishes these guys so heavily that they're utterly useless if you have BW pathing. I mean, Vultures weren't completely useless because of BW pathing, so you have to make some sort of exception. We could modify it to make it, but I don't think it's really necessary, and it makes it more like Mutalisks, where you have, small groups of units really close together, and it's really just you're dancing your units instead. So that's just something I cooked up with. Haha, cooked, get it. Hope you enjoyed. I hope it brings something to the table. Like, I think it's a pretty interesting discussion. Alright, have fun, guys.